Okay. I'm going to share my screen on Discord.
Okay.
So let me know when you can see it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Okay, great. 1 second. So we just did this, right? There we go. As soon as this loads, there we go. It's a little slow. Okay, here we go. And you can see my screen, right? You can see my screen?
yes, I can.
Okay.
I'm watching it right now.
Okay, great. Okay, so um I'm going to talk a little bit about the matchup first. And then
Okay.
we'll talk about it. So here's the thing. So Link, generally speaking, like as a character, right? Link is
Mhm.
good at a few things. So Link is good because of his projectiles. So specifically like Boomerang and Bomb are really good. His arrows kind
Yes.
of okay. It's not super great, but his Boomerang and his Bomb are really good. Um, Link is good at spacing. He has really big hitboxes. His sword is really big. So he can space really well with like forward air, up tilt, up smash, right? Link is very good at killing, so he has like strong smash attacks like forward smash, down smash, up smash. They're all really strong. His up B is really strong. It's also like frame 5 out of shield and it kills, so he's good at killing.
Mhm.
He's good at edge guarding because of bomb, and his neutral is like pretty decent just because of like boomerang, bomb, and like neutral air.
Mhm.
Now, so those are the things he's good at. Now, the things that like he's not super good at are like he's not super fast. He does like his neutral air and his back air are pretty fast, but like his movement isn't super fast. Um, and there are certain angles which are going to be hard for him. So like if his back is turned and he has to do like a back air's really fast, but it doesn't really have any range. So you're gonna have to be
Mhm.
careful if your like back is turned against someone that can out can outrange you, right?
Mhm.
Um, he um now like in terms of like boxing, again, it's like boxing. He has like some decent tools for boxing. Like, and what I mean by boxing is kind of like quick up close options. That's gonna be like neutral air,
Mhm.
back air, and jab. Um,
Mhm.
but again, you sort of have to be um careful with like the spacing and the timing, or you can get in trouble. So now Bowser, it also has big hitboxes, also kills early, right? Bowser has a really good up B out of shield as well. His up B out of shield is also like frame 5 or frame 7. So you have to be careful about attacking his shield unsafely. Are you familiar with frame data?
A bit. Sometimes he just confuses me.
Okay, so I think this is going to be really helpful then. So here's the thing. There is a website that I'm going to share with you called
Okay.
Smash Ultimate Frame Data. Okay, ultimateframedata.com. And I'm going to give it to you for link. Where is link? There he is.
Kirby. There.
Yeah, yeah. So Here, I'm gonna put this in chat. Now, so here's how frame data works. So let's look at his neutral air. His neutral air comes out on frame 7. So the startup is how many like from when you press the 8 button, how many frames does it take to come out? So this is 7 frames to come out. Now, when it says -2 or -3 on shield, that means when you hit someone's shield with this move, this is the number of frames that your opponent has to act before you can act. Now, this is only true assuming you hit your move as close to the ground as possible, because this does not take into account how many frames it takes for you to travel from the air to the ground. So this means like -2 or -3 is only when it's as close to the ground as possible. Now, why is one -2 and one -3?
Okay.
That's gonna depend on the hitbox, like where it hits. You see the visualization. There's like 3 different hitboxes.
Yes.
So, like one of those, like the very tip is gonna be, a different, like it's gonna be like say -3 instead of -2, right? So this still though, -2, -3 on shield is very, very, very good. Because that basically means that almost no character in the game, except like Game & Watch, can true punish out of shield. So if we look at Bowser, his up B out of shield is frame 6. Okay, so that means if you do a neutral air on Bowser's shield as close to the ground as possible, you are only minus, let's say, 3 frames, but his fastest option out of shield is 6 frames. So that means he does not have a guaranteed punish on you, right? So what can you do after your neutral air? Well, that's when like mix-ups come into play, right? So you could do a jab, that's frame 8. You could do a grab, which is also like frame 8. You could jump. Jump is, obviously 3 frames. You can jump away. You can do different mix-ups, right? So now, now when I was saying that you were doing high nairs, if you do a nair very high up, right? Like you're falling with nair, right? And you do it very high up, and it hits like the top of someone's shield. This is going to be -3 plus, however... Oh, actually, I forgot. That's right. The -3 is the weak hitbox versus the strong hitbox. Sorry, -2 is for the strong hitbox. You have a strong hitbox on the very first frame, frame 7 to 8, and then the weak hitbox is 9 through 31. That I forgot. That's what it was, other than the actual hitbox. Okay. So if you do it very high on someone's shield, you have to account for the number of frames that you have to travel from the top of someone's shield to the ground for it to like cancel, because you see it has 6 frames of landing lag, right? So that means like when you hit the ground, like it auto cancels, but it gives you 6 frames of landing lag. So basically that means if you do it really high in someone's shield, the number of frames that it takes for you to like travel from like that high to like the ground could be like, let's just say 10 frames, like as an example. So that would mean that instead of being, let's say, -3 on shield, it's going to be -13 on shield. So that means your opponent has 13 frames to act before you can act. So that would mean that now Bowser's up B, which is frame 6, is a true punish against you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so because of that, we need to be very careful on how we use our attacks, like how high we use our attacks against someone's shield. So that was one thing I wanted to talk about. Okay. So now against Bowser, like in this matchup, generally what you want to be doing as Link, and what you want to be doing in Smash Ultimate in general, is you want to be looking for ways that you can hit your opponent without your opponent hitting you, right? I mean, that makes sense, right? So how do you do that? Well, basically, the ways to do that are sort of like three different. You have like three different ways to accomplish that. So you can accomplish that by using certain moves or certain like angles that are very like difficult for your opponent to deal with. So for example, boomerang. If you use a boomerang that's far away from your opponent, they don't have a way to hit you, right? Like because they're too far away to hit you. And sure,
Mm-hmm.
you might not hit them, but you might hit them, right? And if you hit them, you you won, like you did damage to them without them doing damage to you. So you 1% for free, right? So that is one
Mm-hmm.
way that you can, win without getting hit back. What's another way? So another way is again to say use moves that are very tricky for your opponent to deal with in terms of like frame data. So again, if you use like if you time and you space moves that are like very, minimally laggy on shield, then you have mix-ups, and that allows you to sort of, play around what they want to do, right? So for
Mm-hmm.
example, when shield, in order to put up a shield, if you're on the ground, in order to put up a shield, that's one frame. That's frame one. So let's say that you do a landing nair against Bowser, and let's say Bowser's back is turned to you. Um, so maybe they want to try to punish you with up B, right? But they don't have the frames, right? It's not guaranteed. It's a mix up, right? Well, on frame 4, you shield, right? So you're shielding from frame 4, their frame 6, they're up being, right? So you actually
Mm-hmm.
get to shield their up B for free. And after you shield their up B, it has um see it's minus 36 on shield. That's very easy for you to punish, right? So so you have to use moves that are hard for your opponent to punish, and then you can try to punish your opponent's moves that are easier to punish. And so another way to accomplish that, and this ties into the next way, is you want to look for angles that are favorable to you and they're unfavorable to your opponent. So for example, the
Mm-hmm.
last game that we played, you were doing a good job using up air. Because when you use this up air and I'm trying to land, I don't have anything that can beat this up air. As long as you space this up air correctly, like, and I'm directly above you, I don't have anything that can beat this up air, right? So this is a
Mm-hmm.
good angle for you. So you want to keep those things in mind, as you play the game. Um,
Okay.
okay, so that I think is a good little starting spiel, and now we'll talk about the things that you're doing that either help or don't help in this game plan. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is fine. It's a very like it is like an approaching boomerang. It makes it a little bit less safe, but it's not a bad thing because if you hit the boomerang, then a lot of times you can hit confirm into a combo like forward air or nair. So this is a fine boomerang to start the game. Yep, and then you jump, you punish the Bowser fire. That's great. You could have grabbed after that. That's a confirm into grab, especially because you had returning boomerang, but no problem. Okay, look at that. That's a very high nair. See, you hit the top of my
Mm-hmm.
shield, and then you landed. This should like if you're playing against a good Bowser, I should be able to up B you and punish you every time for this. Again, I started doing it the second game a lot more, and I'll point those out to you. So again, you have to be careful when you're using nair and you're landing against someone's shield. Nair
Okay.
in the air is good if they're jumping, right? But if they're shielding, you don't want to land on top of them with it because it's going to be very minus on shield.
Okay.
And look at this, I actually do punish you for it because you did such a high nair. Okay. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out is, so right here, you were in shield. You were in shield. Okay, and then you let go of shield. Now here, so let's talk about shield parrying and shield dropping. So if you were trying to do a shield parry, then that's fine. Because you have like a 4-frame window to do a shield parry, and when you do a shield parry, you get an extra 3 frames to be actionable than you otherwise would be, and you get to do a grounded attack as opposed to anything else. I don't think I've
Mhm.
talked about this, but when you were in shield, if you just drop shield, right? If you're just on the ground and you just stop holding shield, it takes you 11 frames to drop shield. So it's usually very slow to just drop
Mhm.
shield on the ground, okay? Um if you're trying to then do like a grounded attack after that. Okay? So it's very slow. 11 frames is a lot. It's very slow. Because you have to take in those 11 frames plus however many frames it takes you to do your attack. Now again, the exception to the rule would be shield parrying, because if you shield parry, you get an extra like you negate the like shield drop frames, and you get an extra 3 frames of action ability. So shield
Mhm.
parrying is very strong because it gives you a lot of frames. Now, if you don't get a shield parry though, then you are taking 11 frames to drop shield. So basically, you need to be very aware of the fact that acting out of shield is very slow. So usually,
Mhm.
if you don't get a shield parry, you generally don't want to try counterattacking from dropping shield. What's better in this game, instead of dropping shield and then attacking, is jumping. Because jumping out of shield is only 3 frames. It only takes you 3 frames to jump instead of 11 frames to drop shield. So instead of dropping shield here, what you could have done instead is you could have, say, short hop back aired. That's one example. So it's 3 frames to jump plus another 6 frames to back air. So see, that would be 9 frames. 9 frames, which is still less frames than however many frames than the 11 frames it takes to just drop shield. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
other than back air, which is 9 frames, you also have access to your up B. So up B and up smash, you can both use them out of shield, and they ignore the shield drop frames. So you can up B out of shield,
Okay.
right? And this would be frame 7. So let's look at Bowser's landing nair, which is what I did. So I did nair. See, this is minus 12 on shield, right? So actually,
Mhm.
this minus 12 is both punishable by back air, which is frame 9, and by up B, which is frame 7. So instead of dropping shield, and then you try to turn around, and like maybe jab or dash attack or something, instead of doing that, you needed to instead up B or back air, because you had enough frames to punish me with those. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, so because you did the shield drop and you ran towards me, it was very laggy, and I was able to punish you. Okay. Let me full screen this. Okay, this is okay. So here's the thing. So this boomerang is pretty good. You're using it under the platform, which gives you some cover. And you're using it up, which obviously covers like certain jump angles. That's really good. Now, what you need to be aware of here is that I am already closing the distance on you, right? I'm past your boomerang, and I'm trying to get in on you.
Mhm.
Now, you have basically 3 different options here. Because and something that you also need to know about Bowser is he has a what's called a command grab, right? His side B
Mhm.
can grab you even if Bowser's in the air. He can grab from the air. That's really strong.
Mhm.
So because he can grab you when he's landing, that means that you should be very careful about shielding as Bowser is landing. So instead of
Mhm.
shielding as Bowser is landing, usually you need to either use your movement or stuff him out, right? Like you like hit his landing. So
Oh, okay.
so here again, as I'm approaching, you have there's different things you could do. So like let's talk about the scenarios. Let's talk about what can happen here. So you could try to do say like an up tilt, right? So like an up tilt will if you, depending on whether you space it, like if you jump, or sorry, if you walk slightly forward and then you like turn around up tilt, it'll hit around right here. So maybe it'll catch. Now, there's counterplay. Obviously, as Bowser, maybe I can start drifting away, and then maybe I can whiff punish your up tilt, right? So, okay, so what's another scenario? You could jump and neutral air, right? So as I'm falling, you do a rising neutral air. Now, what's the counterplay to doing neutral air? Well, I could be doing a back air, and Bowser's back air is bigger than Link's neutral air. And again, I'm not saying the neutral air or up tilts are bad options. I'm just saying like be aware of what can happen, right? So if you stay on the ground and you shield, it's very easy for Bowser to command grab you or to even do like reverse flame breath. Like point blank reverse flame breath will like eat your shield. So basically, so I'm talking through the options. So standing and shielding is bad because you like it loses very clearly to multiple options, right? Up tilting might be good. It might be tricky to get in position, but it might be good. It might have some counterplay depending on the DI, but it might be good. And rising neutral air might be good as long as it doesn't get back aired. Now the other option you have is to use your movement to get space. So here's the thing. You could try running back, but you probably don't have enough frames. Like if you start running back, you might not be able to outrun me in time. So instead of running back, you probably want to roll away. Now, sure, if you roll away, you don't gain anything, right? And you are putting yourself closer to the corner. And it's not good to be in the corner. But if you roll away, you reset neutral, and you know for sure that you're not going to get hit, right? So this is like rolling away is a guaranteed neutral reset. So again, just be aware of your options, and use that to sort of option select. So let's see what you do. So see, you started running forward. When you run, you actually put yourself in a certain number of dash frames where you can't act. So dash, where is it? Does it say? It doesn't say. It doesn't. Initial dash is 1.98. I guess it's that's not the number of frames, is it? I think that's a stat. Let me look. Smash Ultimate Link dash frames. Whoops. Dash frames. Link. 12 frames. So basically, yes, there we go. This should be ultimate, right? Unless I'm crazy. Yes, ultimate. Yeah. So look at this. When you dash as Link, it puts you into 12 frames before you can like do anything, basically. Right? So you running forward here is actually putting you into end lag, where you can't act, but I'm going to be able to act because I'm falling. So basically, running forward was again, it's sort of like a bad option there because you're gonna be unactionable for 12 frames, and I'm coming in and I have a very clear angle to attack you. You could have tried running back, but again, I think you might not have the speed to run back fast enough. So anyway, so again, be aware of like why an option is good or not good. So that's I'm just explaining like say why running forward was not a good option in this case, right? Okay, so you get grabbed. Okay, this is good. Yep, this is good. You should be again. There's another opportunity for you to grab. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure you can confirm into a grab from soft and neutral air. And then after you grab, you can down throw into up tilt. It's a guaranteed hit confirm at low percents.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
Okay. Um, give me 1 second. I'm getting a call. Hello.
Hello, this is Spectrum. Calling as a follow-up.
Never mind. Okay. Um. Okay. So again, you got some space. You threw boomerang, and now again, look at this. I'm falling, and you're putting yourself in shield. You can't really do anything out of shield. So like again, I command grabbed you for shielding. Yeah. So again, instead of using shield, you needed to use your movement. Bowser is not super fast in the air. I can't I can't go across the whole screen. So if instead of so again, so right here, use boomerang. Boomerang's fine. If you dash back here, if you dash back, look at this. Look at the movement. Bowser's only going to be able to like this is going to be his arc. He's only going to be able to land about here. So if you dash back here, there's no way for Bowser to hit you. And again, you don't even necessarily have to dash back. This again, that's just one option. Another option you could do is you could do maybe like a walk up, short hop up air, for example, right? That way you're catching this angle, right? And actually, it's going to be a lot stronger of an angle than otherwise because like even if I try to like drift back and say like forward air you, there's a platform right here, right? The platform is going to make it very awkward for me to attack you horizontally because if I use a forward air, right, it'll actually auto cancel when I land on the platform. And in order to do an aerial past the platform, I actually have to start the aerial after I'm below the platform. But I'm like I don't have the speed, I don't have the frame data to actually do that. So you doing say like an up air right here is going to be very strong because like this platform is going to make it horizontal attack, like falling like to like hit you like right here is going to make that very like basically impossible, right? Okay, so you could have dashed back, you could have done an up tilt or sorry, an up air. Yeah, I think those are like two good options. But again, like staying in shield here, right? You're not really accomplishing anything, and it's very easy for Bowser to just land with, say, a side B or a neutral B.
Okay.
Okay, so you went for dash attack. Dash attack is very, very slow. Dash attack is sort of like a move on Link that you use as a read, and you use it to kill someone. When I'm at low percent, it's not a good risk reward for you to use dash attack because dash attack is like sure you'll do I don't know like 15%, 20% damage, but it's very unlikely for you to hit it on a good opponent because it's very slow. So basically just don't really use dash attack at low percents is what I'm saying. Okay.
Okay.
So you got the tech, which is fine. Maybe you might have been able to jump instead, which is better than teching. But even if you did tech, you wanted to tech away. You want to tech a roll away because if you tech a roll away, there's no way for me to follow up. Whereas if you tech in place, which is what you did, or if you tech roll in, then it's very easy for me to follow up. So you still were able to shield in time, but I'm still pressuring your shield with Flame Breath. Yeah, you sort of jumped towards me. Okay, so let me talk about that a little bit. In Ultimate, generally speaking, it's not an absolute rule, but generally speaking, you don't want to be above your opponent. This is not great for you because generally speaking, characters are better at anti-airing than characters are good at landing. So when you were approaching from this like vertical, slightly diagonal angle, it's very easy for Bowser to say do up tilt or contest you with a neutral air. So because what are the options that you have when you're up here? You really only have neutral air, which neutral air is fine. But it'll like trade with my own neutral air, so it's fine, but it's not good, right? You don't win cleanly. And even if you do neutral air, like Bowser up tilt will beat it if I time it correctly. So generally speaking, you don't necessarily want to attack at this angle. You could now you don't necessarily have to attack. You could say do a double jump. So you could double jump back, you could double jump forward. After you double jump, you also get access to like down air as a landing mix-up. You also can do like fast fall neutral air dodge. So you do have options, but generally you don't want to stay right at this angle, because right at this angle, like I just sort of talked through, you don't really have very good options, right? Like your only options are really going to be like neutral air, and neutral air still like doesn't win, right? So you're putting yourself in this situation. So like let me ask you, like did like when you're playing the game, right, and you're say like jumping here, like what was your game plan, or like did you have like a thought process in mind when you were like jumping here? Like is there something you're trying to accomplish?
Maybe mostly, I think it was mostly do Nair. Yeah.
Okay. So that makes sense. Again, which is what I expected, like probably Nair. Now, if you're going to do Nair, what is better than doing this so high up is actually to do it a little bit more horizontal. So if you're going to be landing with Nair, you don't necessarily want to full hop. You could probably just do short hop, and even if you do full hop, you can start drifting back, because again, you don't want to be directly above Bowser. You want to be more, say, around here, right? If you're more like horizontal to Bowser, that makes your Nair a lot safer, and it makes your Nair safer, because not only are you going to be able to like space it and say do like a low nair on shield, which is we talked about frame data wise it's safer, but also just like angle wise is going to be much harder for Bowser to punish it, right? It's like he's going to have to, again, like the only thing he's going to be able to like contest it with, like a landing nair about here, is going to be up tilt. But that's one option, right? As opposed to like multiple options, right? And even then, even if he up tilts, like it's still like he's gonna have to do it as sort of like a read, because if you fade back, so if you're right here and you start fading back and he does up tilt, now you can whiff punish him for doing that up tilt. So see, like what you want to do is you want to get into situations which are like ambiguous for your opponent, where like they might only have like one good option, right? And then if you force them into that option, you can counterplay that option, right? Whereas like here, we talked about like the options that Bowser has. They're pretty good for him. Does that make sense? It's like you want to like limit your opponent's good options. You want to give yourself more good options. So if you're going for Nair, try to do it more horizontal to your opponent. Now, obviously, if your opponent is also jumping, then this is fine, because like if I'm right here, I'm still like quote unquote horizontal but in the air, right? And if I'm right here and you're right here, you can forward air, and then your forward air is actually very strong, right? And it's very long, so that's a very good situation for you if you're both horizontal to each other in the air. The problem here is you're in the air, but I'm not. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I catch that. Okay, you get past. Yeah, you just have to be careful with boomeranging in place. That actually gets you caught a few times in our games. Usually, when you use boomerang, you want to try to do two things with boomerang. One is you want to try to be somewhat far away from your opponent, because otherwise, your opponent can reach you in time. And the other thing is usually you want to be moving when you use boomerang. So if your opponent's very far away, you can do like an approaching boomerang like you did at the start of the game. Here, you could have actually done a short hop back retreating boomerang. If you had done that, if you had been like jumping backwards as you did boomerang, I would not have been able to get to you fast enough.
Okay.
Were you gonna say something? Sorry.
No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I understand that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, by the way, I like your bomb recoveries.
Thank you.
Okay, so this worked out. This was like pretty good, but I will say again, so that again, I like your bomb recovery. That's very good. Now look, you're in tumble. The best
Mhm.
way to get out of tumble is to use an aerial.
Okay.
You can tech, which like teching is better than not teching. So you did tech away, which
Mhm.
was good, but even better than not than teching or not teching is to use an aerial. And I actually have a
Okay.
video in our Discord called Lagless Landing. I recommend you watch it, and it's a way
Okay.
that you can land when you're in tumble, um, without any lag. You basically
Cool.
have to do an aerial as close to the ground as possible, and then you can land
Mhm.
with no lag. So it's very good. Okay. Um, Great. This is very good boomerang because I don't have like I couldn't reach you fast enough, so this is very good. It's safe. Yep, that's great. Yeah, great combo confirm. Great. Yep, that was all beautiful. And this F tilt, even though it didn't like confirm, it was safe. It's like if it hits, great, and if it doesn't hit, then it's safe on shield. So that's great. That very good sequence by
Mhm.
you here. Okay, so you're jumping. I'm jumping. So now here again. So this is a situation where you want to nair. Either you want to nair
Mhm.
or you want to fade back. Because
Yeah.
here's what's gonna
Okay.
happen. So again, so we talked about your nair is frame 7, right?
Yes. Mhm.
What can Bowser do? The only thing that we're in range for, what that Bowser's in range to do, is back air. Now Bowser's back
Mhm.
air is frame 9. See, so if you use your frame 7 and he uses his frame 9, your frame 7 is going to win, right? It's faster.
Mhm.
Now obviously, forward air is bigger, but forward air is frame 16. So if you try to use forward air and Bowser does back air, then his back air will win, right? Because it's faster.
Mhm.
So this is a good situation for you to either use nair or to fade back. So let's see what you do.
Okay.
You'd use nair. Beautiful. That's really good. Okay, so again, you're using boomerang in place here. Um, this is making it a lot less safe. Um,
Okay.
you probably needed to use your movement to retreat and then use boomerang. Okay, you were still able to shield. Yeah, and that's a mix up again. So now the thing is, so you shielded and that's great. But see, that was a mix up because the fastest option, like we talked about, your fastest option is going to be shield. That's frame 1. But let's say instead of me using down air, I might have caught you with a command grab, a side B, right? So that's
Mhm.
the issue. That's the issue with like when you space moves unsafely, it forces you to choose an option like this, which can get counterplayed, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so you jab, which is fine. You also could have grabbed. Grab might have been better, but it's fine. You still punish. Yes, great approaching boomerang. You have the space to do it. That's great. Okay, you see me jumping towards you. You jump away. That's great. Um, okay. Yep, we're still good. Yep, you thought I was gonna send the other way. That's fine. Yeah, you're great. See, you're using a retreating boomerang. That's great. That's really good. Now you're trying to catch the angle with forward air. You do. That's great. This was all very good by you. You try to edge guard. That's fine. A little preemptive there. You still caught, but you definitely want to be careful. That was one of the things that across our 2 games I did notice, and especially the second game you'll notice. I punished you a lot because you were doing a lot of very preemptive grounded options. So you have to be careful with that.
Okay.
Um. Okay, that's fine. Do you shield? You don't shield in time. Okay. And good. Yeah, it would have killed, so I guess it's okay as a read. It wasn't, again, very high on shield, and it wasn't spaced properly,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you had like drifted back more with it, it might have barely been safe. But yes, like high on shield plus not spaced is going to be very unsafe. Um, okay, let's talk about this right here. This was a bad recovery, and let me explain why. So, when Bowser is flame breathing like this, and it hits below stage, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
take percent. Like it's unavoidable. Like you will take damage, and that's okay. That's okay. So after you take damage, yes, you get put into hit stun, which means that you have to up B again. You need to be careful about not up Bing too early. If you are patient and you wait to fall a little bit and then up B again, that's going to be helpful to you for two reasons. One is the Bowser breath starts getting smaller, so you're gonna be able to probably get past the fire more easily, instead of like running into the fire. Two is
Mm-hmm.
you need you need to be careful about not being too early, because see the Bowser fire is propping you upwards, and so what happens is if you start up being around here, it forces you to go above stage, and going above stage with your up B is very 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 unsafe. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, what you needed to do here is you needed to wait to go down after getting hit and then up B again. But you're spamming. You see, you're spamming your up B, and that's making you go above the
Mm-hmm.
stage. And then that is very easy to punish. See those? That's one of those where I talked about the bomb
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
detonation. So
Mm-hmm.
the bomb throw wasn't bad. Like this is fine. See, this is forcing me to go into shield or to grab it, right? Which both of those are good, because
Mm-hmm.
if I grab it, then I have to throw it. Um, and the approaching jump is fine, but because you detonated it, it put you in end lag, and now this is easy for me
Mm-hmm.
to grab. So if you just
Punish
hadn't
it.
detonated
Yeah.
it, if you just landed, then you would have been fine.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you have to be careful with that. I barely didn't get it, but you definitely want to be careful with this right here. Again, very
Mm-hmm.
very high. You see, very high. This you're gonna be in end lag, and you could definitely get punished for doing this because you're trying to land on stage.
Okay.
If you're doing this sort of high aerial, maybe you're trying to call me out because maybe you think like I'm going to jump into you. Okay, I understand. But if you see that I didn't jump into it, you need to go to ledge, because if
Okay.
you try to land on stage, you're going to be in lag. You're going to get hit. You should get hit. And I barely missed this. Probably, Wi-Fi, but you could have died right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's fine. Slightly mistimed. Again, you see, you're going for a grounded option where I'm not near you. That's putting you in end lag. I fucked up, but yeah. Good. Okay, let's talk about this. So you threw me up. This is a good position for you. Now here's the thing. I'm very high up. I'm very very high up. So honestly, in order to like pass the time because I'm so high up, you could pull out bomb, you could throw out boomerang, and that covers certain angles. But if you don't want to do either of those things, then you definitely just want to be like sharking my drift, which it kind of
Mm-hmm.
looks like you were trying to do. Um, maybe like you weren't able to do it because of Wi-Fi, but like once you see like, yeah, look, very preemptive. See, very preemptive, grounded option. That should get you punished.
Mm-hmm.
So like once you see that you don't have the angle, you again sort of just need to like reset and not commit to something like this,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Very good. That was a very good up B. That covered 2 out of 4 options, right? So it would have covered neutral get up and roll pass. So that's very good. The only thing it doesn't cover is get up attack and jump, depending on the timing.
Jump. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was very good. Okay, yeah, so again, so Link isn't super fast, so you're slow falling here. And I'm in invincibility. This is a hard position for you in general, but you generally
Mm-hmm.
don't want to just be floating in the air. You need to start using like fast fall, and then like once you fast fall, then you can like, or you need to like double jump. You need it to sort of like do a mix up. But yeah, if you just like slowly fall away, it's very easy to cover.
Okay.
Um, okay. Again, see very very high neutral air. Again, I missed it, but you could have died right there. Very high neutral air. Okay. Yep, good. Good movement. Great. Great. Yeah, I respect it. That's still a pretty good option. You gotta be careful with that. Um,
Yeah.
it's a good option, but you want to make sure that you don't land on stage with it. You want to make sure that you
Mm-hmm.
grab ledge. Otherwise, you can get
Grab the list.
punished. Yeah. Again, you used a preemptive move on the ground when I'm in the air. Okay. Yep, that's fine. It's spaced. It's safe. Again, high on shield. I don't punish it though, but you again got to be careful with that nair high on shield.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, cool. That's fine because of the platform. Yep, great. Mm, you don't have to run in here. And this is a situation where you can set up boomerang and you can try to keep me in the corner. If you run in, see, you sort
Mm-hmm.
of let me get past. You want to keep someone in the corner. So if instead of running in, you sort of just like either again throw boomerang or you kind of just like sit here and then cover my options, that's a lot stronger than running in. Like if I'm trying to jump, then you can jump in like forward air, right? Or you can
Mm-hmm.
up air or you can up tilt. But yeah, just running in usually makes it easier for your opponent to get out of the corner. Very preemptive again on the grounded option when I'm in the air. I missed tech. Yep, good way to get past. Yep. Okay. Good mix up. I dropped shield. It was risky, but it worked out. Yep, good. Nice. Reset. Yeah, nice movement. You're trying to kill me. I understand. Okay, so let's look at the second game now. Hmm, so slow. Okay. Okay. So, yep, you start out with the approaching boomerang. That's fine. You have returning boomerang. That's great. Yeah, grab up tilts. Oh, that needs to be up tilts. You don't want a neutral air. You want a down throw up tilt at low percents. It's guaranteed.
That's weird. I tried that like before, like in real life on offline, and still didn't. Like people still like drift away.
They can if they have really good drift, but it's actually guaranteed if you do turnaround up tilt. Like
Oh.
non turnaround up tilt is still guaranteed on a lot of characters, but if you want to hit every single character, then you actually need to do turnaround up tilt. Turning around takes 1 frame in this game. So
Oh.
it would
Okay.
be down throw, turnaround, up tilt. Okay. Good up B. Good boomerang. Very high on shield. You're gonna get
Mhm.
up bead. Yeah, you're sitting in shield. You could have used movement. Okay, good boomerang. you're sort of just standing there. Again, sort of like a high neutral air. Then you're in shield, and you're at a bad angle. So here, it just seemed like you were a little bit lost as to what to do. So let's talk about this. So this is a really good boomerang. So this boomerang is gonna cut off this angle for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now that angle's cut off for me, it means that I have to approach like this or like this, right? It's
Uh-huh.
cutting off certain angles. So this is a good situation for you to like walk forward, and then again then you can like box like against my options. So if I jump forward, you can forward air, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I like um if I move forward, then you could do neutral air, you could do grab, you could do F tilts, you could do jab. It just depends, right? Um, but yeah, this is you generally don't want to just sit in the corner. Sitting in the corner
Mm-hmm.
limits your options because you don't have any stage behind you to move to, right? And like movement is very important in
Okay.
this game. So yeah, so basically, and
Mm-hmm.
the other good thing about boomerang is like you have a returning boomerang, right? So like let's say that you're trying to attack me and
Mm-hmm.
I'm attacking you and maybe you lose, but because boomerang's going to return and hit me, now you have a potential reversal situation where you can still win the encounter because boomerang returned and hit me and now I'm in end lag and now you can attack me, right? So it's very good to have boomerang out. But yeah, you just kind of sit here, you see? And now you're cornered and now you don't really have great options. Here, you could try F tilting. You could try calling out a jump with like a forward air or an air, or you need to like get past. But so you do nair, but you do it in place, so it doesn't reach, and now you're a little bit of end lag from nair. Now I'm above you. You have a very awkward angle. See, now you're at a very awkward angle. Like, what are you gonna do
Mm-hmm.
here? I mean, basically, if you're gonna try to call me out aggressively, the only thing that you could try to do is like do turn around up tilt or up smash, but that's gonna be very tricky to time. So this is just a bad situation for you because you got cornered. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And so you go into shield, and then I just grab you. Very, very, okay, you didn't need to air dodge there. So, air dodging, directional air dodging, is very laggy. Like, but air dodging is also laggy, but directional air dodging is very laggy. The only reason you want to air dodge is, well, to avoid getting hit, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
the issue is, look, I'm nowhere near you. I'm not anywhere near you. So you doing this is actually putting you in disadvantage. Like yeah, you're not in a good position here, but because you're doing this, you're going to be in so much lag that it's going to be easy for me to hit you. So you only want to air dodge when you have to. And because I wasn't anywhere near you, you didn't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, see, you're so much lag, I was able to dash attack you. Good nair. Yeah, it's fine. Mix up. Great. You're trying to use movement. That's great. You can use a nair here. You didn't use nair. You wanted to shield. That's fine though. I mean, it mixed me up. You could have upbeat that. Because dash attack is dash attack minus 33 on shield, and your up B is frame 7. So you
Yeah,
100% could have. Huh?
give me a second.
Okay.
¿No entras a las 6 al trabajo? Sí. 5:87. Ok, ya voy. Ya voy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, again, committal on the ground when I'm in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very scary bomb pull. It was very laggy. Like when you don't want to palm pull when someone's too close to you. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You're using movement. Yeah, that's great. That's what you want to be doing. Movement and then whiff punishing with like boomerang, or just spaced aerials. Again, see, you're committing to a grounded option when I'm in the air. This is a bad habit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good. 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 Very high on shield. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have the angle there to do a forward air, so. You're
Yeah, I
here?
kind of wanted to do an up. Yeah,
Yeah, up air would have been good. Yeah, up air would have been
yeah,
good.
I wanted to do an up air, but for some reason
Oh,
you thought
okay.
like lower.
Okay, so again, so look, this boomerang you did was very good. This boomerang is very good. Now, sure, I shielded it, but that's no problem. That's no problem. Like you're still in an okay position, but running right at me is not good. Because again, we talked about like
Mm-hmm.
when you're dashing, like you're actually putting yourself in a little bit of lag. And I'm not saying dashing is bad. Like dashing is good, but it's like when you dash. See here, you're actually
Mm-hmm.
dashing towards my threat range. Like you're dashing towards an area I can hit you. So really, you don't necessarily want to dash right towards me. You can use it to cover distance, but then you want to sort of like space a move against me. Look, I jump. Because I jump, that means that I can no longer like threaten you. So actually, you could
Mm-hmm.
have just say thrown out another boomerang, or sure, you can try to do like a rising forward air here or a nair, but just dashing right below me, the only thing you could do out of that would be up tilt.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, you know, again, I don't think you even have the frames for that. So that's the problem. And again, you committed to a grounded option when I'm in the air. So I think that's one of your biggest bad habits. Good nair, good grab. That's fine, yeah. Oh, okay, so this is the angle. That's one of the angles I was talking about. So right here. So look, your back is turned to me. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing you can do, the only thing you can do is back air. Now, the issue is, like, not back air isn't bad, but the issue is Bowser's forward air and maybe even his side B are bigger than your back air. So
Mm-hmm.
because of that, in this matchup, double jumping towards Bowser with your back turned is not very good. So instead of double
Okay.
jumping towards me, you should have just like maybe like double jumped away or landed, and then again like reset. So you got to be watching out for these angles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you tried to do up air, it didn't come out because you landed on platform. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, this is fine. This is good. That's great. That's great. Again, you're going for a lot of dash attack reads. You're not really hitting them. That's super great. Yeah. You don't want to boomerang right on top of someone's face. You need a little bit of space to do
Mm-hmm.
boomerang. Um, you want to hold shield. Like once you get hit by Bowser Breath, just hold shield for a little bit so you don't get damaged for free.
Okay.
There. Oh, it barely didn't come out in time. Okay. Okay, good nair. Good up tilt. Yeah, and then good up tilt. Yeah, this is exactly, yeah, this was very good. This was very good. Yep, that was great. Okay. And I think that's basically the game that was like bugged out. Let me see. We're here. Ugh. Yeah, it's like bugging out. It's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I know that I, you know, like threw a lot at you. Um, but I hope some of it sort of makes sense. I hope some of it is helpful. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to take time to like, assimilate all of it. You can go back and watch this, this session VOD anytime you
Mm-hmm.
want. Um,
Okay.
and I think you have my Twitch and my YouTube, right? If not, I'll link them to you.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll link them to you. But yeah, you can review them anytime. Um, if you have questions about how frame data works or like anything that I explained, just let me know. But yeah,
Okay.
um, I think that to recap, some of the biggest things you need to work on are you need to not commit as much to a grounded option when your opponent is in the air. You really need to
Mhm.
like be looking for like options that will cover them in the air, not on the ground. You want to stop
Mhm.
dash attacking so much. Dash attacking is good as a call out, like as a hard read to kill someone, but that's only good at kill
Okay.
percents. You want to be looking more for up B and like nair and back air out of shield instead of just dropping shield.
Mhm.
Um, you want to use your movement and your space to pull out
Okay.
bomb and boomerang. You don't want to use them too close to your opponent. Um, Look for some of your confirms like down through up tilt, nair into grab. Those are some good confirms, or at least nair into jab. Because
Mhm.
depending on the percent and the spacing. Um, what else? I know we talked about a lot. I know we talked a lot about a lot, but those are again like a lot of those things will be like a good foundation for you to like.
Mhm.
There's a lot there. You know what I mean? So I will, and I know that you have to go soon, so I'm ending my rant now. Is there anything you want
Okay.
to ask before we finish?
No, I actually like all the points because yeah, sometimes I don't know. I do dash attacks like I know when you're not there. I don't know. Just a habit, a bad habit that I have, as you pointed out.
Hmm.
I think that's all.
Okay, awesome. Well, again, I hope this was helpful. Good luck at work, and we can talk more later. But again, I think there's should be some good stuff for you to work on for now.
Yeah, should have it. Okay.
Okay. Well, you have a good
All
day,
right.
and
Thank you. You too.
yeah, message me whenever. Bye now.
Sure. Bye.